In this video, I will be showing you how I started to build the first section of the fence. And the first thing I need to do is get a board at both ends so that I can attach a string to the top of the boards. You can do it to the top or the bottom or in the middle, whatever you want. Top usually works best. And I'm just simply from the top of the fencing to the top of the 2x4 railing. I think I have about 14 inches, and I'm going to do the same on the other side so that the boards are the same height. And you don't have to do this, it just looks better in my opinion. And this is where all the planning and preparation goes into the fence. You've got to get the 2x4 rails at the right height off of the ground where you want to have the fencing. You know, you don't want to build your fence and then backfill it with dirt and find out that you have, out of your 6-foot fence, you have 7 foot from the top of the fence to the top of the soil in your backyard. And on the other side, you have 5 feet. You don't want that. And working with angles like this, what I'm doing, you're going to have to put a little more thought into that also. So there it is. I got the 2 boards attached at both ends, and I got the height that I want. And now I'm going to go ahead and put a screw on the top of the fence board, the 1x6. And each one of these 1x6 will have 2 screws, 2 screws at the top, 2 screws at the bottom for the fencing. And I'll probably show you a close-up of that in the another part of the video, probably in one of the slideshows. You'll see something like that. So there I am putting my string. String is your fence building best friend. I probably already said that. I'm going to get it nice and tight here. And the string will be my guide for the rest of the boards. This isn't too difficult. I'm simply going to take the next board and slide it up to where it's just barely under the string. Just barely under the string. And then I will put the screw in, or the nails. I'm using screws. The reason for that is simple. If I have a problem with the fencing, I can get my screw gun in there, take the fencing off, maybe even reuse it. But when I use nails to get one of these fence boards off, it might not be as simple. So again, there you can see the fence isn't going to be perfectly level. It's sloping with the hillside. And I'm just simply putting it right underneath the string. Now you could end up, if you're pushing it too tight, you could end up pushing the string up. And that's going to be a problem if you're trying to create a nice straight line. So be aware of that. If you get about 10 boards away from the end after you've installed 10 of them, and you look at the string and you see a ½ inch gap, that's going to be your first clue that just maybe you you've pushed the string up. And another thing is too, make sure that the string is tight. Otherwise, if the string is sagging, then let's just say it's sagging in the middle because it wasn't tight enough, then you're going to have a sagging top or a curve in the top also. Another thing, if you haven't noticed yet, I am just putting 1 screw in. You can see I just put 1 screw in there. I got to come back and put another screw on the other side, 1 screw on the bottom there. Grab the next board. So each board will have 2 screws or 2 nails at the top, 2 nails at the bottom. So one board will have 4 nails or 4 screws, and that would be the same with 1x8. If you're using 1x10 or 1x12, you might want to put 3 nails or 3 screws in there. But 1 at each end, or 1 on the right side, 1 on the left side at the top and the bottom should be fine for something like this. And again, not too difficult. You can see where just kind of one board after another. And if the wood's wet or moist, you just got it from the lumber yard, I like to put all of the fencing pickets, the 1x6, I like to just put them as tight as I can next to the other board, because when they dry out, they will more than likely shrink and leave a gap in between the fencing. And then the theory, of course, behind that would be that if they got wet again and expanded, then it would kind of fill in that gap, but it wouldn't damage the board. If you don't have a gap and the wood, so let's say you install dry wood and then it's tight, everything's tight, and then it gets wet and expands, you could end up with some cupping or some problems with the lumber. So anyway, this is a three-part series, or a three-part mini-series in our series. The first part, and then I will have a link here for the second part.